this video starts with a really long cutscene. Just wanted to say hi before it starts. Hi.
Hey, I hit something. I got a handle. I got it. Good God, there's a dead lizard down there.
Well, where else should it be?
There you go, baby. Come to daddy. Woohoo!
Here, let me see that.
How much you think's in here anyway?
Enough. Just not enough gold to go around.
Okay, we need to confirm our kill. Okay, he's dead.
Awesome. Hey, everybody, we found El Kabonk. Oh.
Welcome back to Deadly Creatures.
Oh, that's cool.
So a lot of this is going to be the same events from the previous video, but from the perspective of the Scorpion. Although he has very different levels. There is going to be a minor bit of backtracking, but not too much.
So we're in the same general area here.
To start with, at least.
Sure.
By the time this video ends, it's going to be in a completely different area.
Oh.
The Culvert, or the culverre, however you pronounce it. Oh great, it's this area. I knew I should have learned how to jump. I'm gonna have to cut my way around.
They really should do something about this grass. It's too tall.
Oh great, I couldn't get to that damn spider. Stupid scripted events.
Excuse me, you have an infestation here. I'm gonna have to call the health department.
Oh, rats.
You make very short work of those, by the way.
Well, I found actually an optimal strategy was just simply to mash the A button and not do anything fancy. Because the moment you try to do fancier combos on you, the rats will absolutely wreck your shit. So if you just keep things simple and just keep hammering the A button, they will generally either be stun locked, or any attacks that they will counter with are usually simple to block.
This is not Devil May Cry. There are no style points. That is totally allowed.
I was never one for style anyway. I just put on whatever tie I find. Sometimes not even with a shirt. Scorpion doesn't even need clothes anyway, but whatever.
But the tie is nice. The tie brings it all together.
I like those toy soldiers that we just passed. That's a little flair to it. And there's actually an extra detail you may not have noticed about them, which I'm actually going to go back after I fight this rat here. And it's a cute little joke with the toy soldiers there. Oh, that pathetic little snarl at the end. That was so sad. Alright, so if we go back with the toy soldiers, eventually, they're being attacked by a T-Rex! I have a feeling that whatever level designer put this little set piece together just had way too much fun with it. And if you look closely at each of the little green men there, they have different weapons. Like one's got an assault rifle, one's got a knife, one's got an RPG.
Oh, yeah. Like, you have to imagine what little kid would be out here playing with all these deadly creatures around. Billy Bob Thornton, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, yeah, those are his toys.
Oh, yeah. Wait, is this a guitar? This is a guitar.
Yeah, it's a guitar. Although it doesn't seem to have any strings.
Somebody threw out a perfectly good guitar.
And it seems to have been there long enough that grass has gone through the hole in the middle. This definitely is like some sort of landfill. Like if it's been here long enough that a guitar has basically become part of the scenery.
Again, kudos to Rainbow for this, because they really had fun with what they put together here.
Oh. What's inside this tape deck, I wonder? Oh. I gotta say, these concept albums are getting weirder by the decade.
Yeah, this one crawled away on me.
I would not want to be the audio engineer who worked on that tape.
How do you spool a cricket back up when it falls apart inside the tape deck?
It's a question that audio engineers have asked themselves since the dawn of time. I really do like how many details have been added here, that this is such a white trash part of the southwestern U.S. Like, it still really hasn't established exactly where, aside from, you know, somewhere in the Sonoran Desert. But you could just tell from all the small little details, like, this is not a particularly prosperous part of the country.
It's a little redneck town, like, out in the desert. Like, it's a blink and you miss it sort of outskirts of Reno, Nevada sort of thing, which I don't think is in the right area, but definitely near enough that you get the idea.
Yeah, it's the kind of place where in Canada we would call that kind of place the middle of fucking nowhere, Alberta.
Yeah, we call it BFE around here.
I didn't speed this up. This was actually my pro strats had gotten so fast that I was able to break the rules of space and time.
Good cover.
You can expect my SGDQ submission later this year. Also, this finisher is great. I think that's a Canadian destroyer.
This is the most electrifying Let's Play in sports entertainment. Oh my god!
That's the same finisher we've been seeing on the Praying Mantis for several videos now.
And I just realized, does he jam his own arms through his chest?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh my god! How did I miss that?
Anyway, we've got another so-called jump scare.
Oh, baby doll.
Ah.
Oh my god.
Also, it tries to build up atmosphere, but unfortunately the geometry doesn't agree.
I mean, what else do you do with one of those heads as a set piece?
You play test it to make sure that
that you can crawl over it? Yeah. That's your major mechanic, like moving and going, you know, kind of works.
I mean, we jest, but this game is really cool.
It is. Like, for a team of 35, I can forgive the little polish things. Granted, I wasn't the one that played this for the footage. I can see where there's a few little nagging details here and there in the gravity surfaces and things like that, but it works really well, you know.
Yeah, this is the same widow trap that the at the tarantula went through a couple chapters ago, so I sped that up.
Kill them all.
Although we're in a completely different environment now. I think this is the culvert, the culverre, however you pronounce it. What does that mean anyway? This isn't a particularly.
Culvert is just kind of like a drainage ditch.
Yeah, it's a tunnel carrying a stream or open drain under a road or a railroad.
Yeah. So, like, you'll see a culvert pipe that passes underneath, like, a driveway or a road or something like that. And it's just so that there's proper drainage from one side to the other so that the road doesn't wash out.
Yeah, my specialty is not infrastructure, so... It uses the culvert, or however you pronounce it, to as you'll see with this level design, there's a lot of invocation of there's a lot of invocation of cave level design tropes in this area,
which actually works well for that. I mean, I'm not really infrastructure either. I only know that I need to construct more pylons, so...
Oh, I haven't played Brood War in so long. I got StarCraft 2 when I was in university, but I never really got into it.
I got into it long enough to know that I wasn't very good at it.
There's a toilet over there. See that?
Yeah.
I never noticed that. Yeah, the one game mod that I seem to remember when online was for Brood War, which no one else seems to remember that I've talked about with this. There was an online mode called Siege Tank Volleyball, where there was a there'd be two siege tanks on either side. There'd be, I think it was called the Scourge, or what was for the ball, the Zerg unit, the small Zerg unit that would be like a suicide attack
Zerglings
for air. No, the one in the air for air units.
I
think it was called a Scourge.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, that would be the ball, and you would bat the ball over by going into siege mode with your tank, which would then instantly explode and be replaced by another siege tank. And that would somehow be able to affect the speed and trajectory of the Scourge. So let me see if it is. Was it a Scourge? Yeah, it was called a Scourge. It's been so many years since I played Brood War.
Somehow appropriate for a game about bugs.
Yeah. But that's the weirdest thing. Like, no, like for what I seem to remember as an extremely popular multiplayer mode, no one else that I've spoken to ever remembers it. Maybe now that we have a somewhat popular Let's Play thread that people occasionally watch, maybe someone else will remember it.
The Nats again!
Look, I get it. You won the World Series. That's great. You don't need to get so personal with me. Just focus on next season.
You're a very good team, but your fans are the worst.
If you keep this up, they're going to move the team back to Montreal. And what are you going to think about it back then?
Ooh.
So we're on the side now. So any attack that causes knockback is pretty much a guaranteed kill. Like that.
Oh.
Going right off the side. We got some
chains.
Very nice effects with those chains.
Oh. They know how to build atmosphere.
Oh yeah, this in particular with this level I think is probably the best in terms of building atmosphere.
Especially with the chains and the gravity surface, like it's hanging against gravity above you rather than, you know, the shifting perspective just really kind of wows you in scenes like that.
Yeah. Plus, it's also one of the few areas in the game where it deliberately uses the poor draw distance in an effective way, because you could probably tell that that fog in the background with the chains was kind of due to engine limitations.
They're pulling a Silent Hill 2 on you, yeah.
Well, Silent Hill in general.
Yeah. Spooky bred out of necessity.
So that move there, that was me trying to do one of the extended tail attacks, which is where you press A twice, then hold A and waggle, which, for whatever reason, I could never really get the hang of that attack. I don't know why. It's just, I couldn't get the timing of it. Also, the camera kind of goes crazy during this part.
So, I gotta ask, the Wiimote with fighting game style inputs, just because I never really played stuff like Smash Brothers on the Wii, bad, acceptable, limited, kind of funky.
Well, when I played Brawl, I would always use a GameCube controller, so I can't really tell. But for Deadly Creatures, with Deadly Creatures, it works because of that ability that I mentioned earlier on, where you can adjust the sensitivity.
Okay.
So I have the sensitivity very low, so that basically, you know, you can scratch your nose and it'll register as a motion, and you could tweak it.
Okay.
To be as high or as low sensitive as you want.
I love the Scorpions so much.
If only I loved myself that much. I really love the atmosphere of this.
Oh, it's great.
This particular section. Like I had, at this point when I was recording footage, I had forgotten just how great the atmosphere was, and a lot of the footage of me fading away at this part was just me just staring at the scenery, because I had totally forgotten how good this level looks. So it had been a long time since I'd beaten this game.
Yeah, and knowing the limitations of the Wii, I can think of maybe a handful of games that were small to mid-sized teams that looked this good. Maybe, possibly. And the Cabela's games didn't look this good.
The one that comes to mind is GoldenEye, the GoldenEye remake.
GoldenEye looked very good.
Both Metroids, Metroid Prime 3 and Metroid Other M, yes, that did look very good.
It looked good. I will give it that. Fatal Frame 4 comes to mind. That was very good looking.
The two galaxies looked good, although they were also very linear, sort of took advantage of the small spaces. Oh yeah, the two conduits as well, the first person shooters.
Okay, I remember those.
Yeah, I'm sure there are other excellent looking Wii games that are not coming to mind at the moment.
But on a team this small, you know,
on a team this small, I mean, I guess because GoldenEye was still on like the fringes of Eurocom's development. Like when they were still going into when they were on the verge of bankruptcy.
Right.
So I guess that was a small team working on that. I'll have to look further into their development, but anyway. Yeah, there's not much else to say about this level. It's excellent. Although one set piece coming up is pretty neat right here. Someone left their lunch.
tossed their soda out the car into a drainage ditch.
And then it somehow rolled all the way past all of these enemies and into here. I don't think losing your lunch was ever meant to be this literal. I just want to imagine like a wanted poster. Wanted. One lunch. Lost. Please find. Call 555-3627.
Don't actually call that number.
Okay, so what else it reminds me of in God of War 3 after in those sections where
Yes.
Kratos would have to ride those vents or like the air vents up like past the chains.
I remember that now.
That's what it reminds me of.
It's kind of dark and brooding. It's a little bit of downtime in the game. You've got that kind of fun, rewarding environmental movement in it. Yeah, it's that kind of area.
Well, it's as quiet as God of War gets, but
boy,
wrong God of War.
Wrong God of War, but as quietly as Kratos can grunt things. Yeah.
As quietly as Kratos can blame others for his failings. Okay, so if I remember correctly, I almost lose this take in this level. I come very close. Oh, yes. Alright, so I do pretty terribly in this fight. Everything goes to hell. You know, the widow spiders are terrible to fight as with the scorpion. Of course, the camera doesn't really help either. My health is draining.
You can tell the gravity surface is fighting a little bit there too, yeah.
Surprising they go with the heartbeat soundtrack. Everything's going to hell. Oh god, I'm down to 1 HP. And just before I die, I grab an enemy for a finisher. I'm at 1 HP at this point.
Lucky.
One thing the game doesn't tell you is that when you grab an enemy for a finisher, it actually negates any poison effect you have.
Oh, so it's an instant cure.
Yes.
Oh.
And thankfully there's a couple of grubs sprinkled around
and
here.
some doubloons, I notice. Or somebody's change or something.
Yes, whatever currency they use in that strange land called the United States of America.
It's pennies. Nobody else has pennies.
Well, we certainly haven't had pennies since 2010. Well, this level's almost over. And I really like this part. This section here looks like it could have come straight out of concept art. I love this entrance here.
There's like a luster to it, like a bit of a glow. That's neat.
Thanks to the lighting, it almost looks painterly.
Yeah.
Alright, so next video is the final gameplay video. Because there's still one more interview with Dennis Hopper. We had the interview with Billy Bob Thornton near the beginning of the Let's Play. And now, because there's spoilers with the final boss, so I'm putting that interview at the end of the LP.
All right.
So I've been hyping up this final boss for the entirety of this LP, and I cannot wait for you to see it.
God, please don't let it be a dog or something. Good God.
It is going to be great. I promise you.
All right. we're looking forward to that.